Commander Alex Daniels felt small standing in front of the Galactic Council. The huge room stretched up and out in all directions. Hundreds of alien faces looked down at him. Some had many eyes, others had scales, and a few glowed with inner light. Each alien represented a different world in the Galactic Confederation. Alex stood tall despite feeling uncomfortable. Next to him, Lieutenant Samantha Powell kept her face calm, though her eyes showed her anger. They had both expected this meeting to go badly. High Counselor Zex Full spoke in a deep voice that echoed through the chamber. His blue skin wrinkled around his 4 yellow eyes as he frowned at the 2 humans. "The Council has spoken," Zex Full said. "Humans will no longer be allowed to settle new planets. Your 3 colony worlds are all you will have. Your ships must submit to extra inspections. Your technology must be shared with all Confederation members." Alex watched as many council members nodded in agreement. Humans had only been part of the Confederation for 15 years. In that time, they had grown faster than any other species. This scared the older races. Furthermore, Zex Full continued, "Human military vessels will now carry Confederation observers at all times." Samantha gently tapped Alex's arm. This was their signal. The council had crossed the final line. Alex cleared his throat. The sound seemed to fill the quiet room. "High Counselor," Alex said, keeping his voice steady, "for years humans have helped the Confederation. Our doctors have saved billions of alien lives. Our ships protected your worlds when the Hive attacked. We have been good members." He paused and looked around the room. Some aliens looked away, unable to meet his gaze. "Yet you treat us like children," Alex continued. "You limit our growth. You watch our every move. You take our knowledge but give little in return." Whispers spread through the council chamber. Several members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. "Today, I must inform you that humanity has had enough." Alex's voice grew stronger. "By the power given to me by the United Earth government, I announce our withdrawal from the Galactic Confederation, effective immediately." The room exploded with noise. Some aliens jumped to their feet, shouting. Others sat frozen in shock. No species had ever left the Confederation in its 12,000 years of existence. "This is outrageous," shouted Ambassador Krell, his reptilian face turning dark green with anger. "You cannot survive alone." "You need our trade routes," called another voice. "The Hive will destroy you without our protection," warned a third. Alex and Samantha turned and walked toward the giant doors at the end of the chamber. Guards moved as if to stop them, then stepped back, unsure what to do. "You'll be back," Ambassador Krell shouted after them. "Your economy will collapse within a year." The massive doors closed behind the humans with a deep, final sound. Outside the chamber, in a quiet hallway lined with ancient artworks from 100 worlds, Samantha finally let her calm mask drop. "Well, that's done," she said quietly. "Do you think they believe we're serious?" Alex looked back at the closed doors. "They will soon enough." He touched the communication device on his wrist. "This is Commander Daniels. Authorization code Phoenix 7 Delta. Begin Operation Exodus. I repeat, begin Operation Exodus." Across human space, the message spread instantly. On Earth and 3 colony worlds, plans long kept secret began to unfold. Spaceships prepared for flight. Families packed their belongings. Military units secured important sites. Humanity was leaving the Confederation behind. As Alex and Samantha walked toward their ship, they passed a group of alien diplomats who backed away as if the humans carried a disease. "The Council thinks we're bluffing," Samantha said softly. "Let them think that," Alex replied. "By the time they realize we're not, we'll be long gone." Above them, through a crystal ceiling, stars shined brightly. Somewhere out there was a new home for humanity, a place without the Confederation's rules and limits, a place where humans could build their own future. The entire galaxy would hold its breath waiting to see what happened next. 6 months had passed since the humans announced their decision to leave the Galactic Confederation. At first, most alien races thought it was just an empty threat. They were wrong. Captain Ryan Frost stood on the bridge of his ship, the _nomad_. Through the large front window, he could see the beautiful blue-green planet below. New Eden was the most successful human colony world. Its cities gleamed in the sunlight. Its farms stretched across rich valleys. It had been home to 20 million people. Now it was empty. "Status report," Ryan said, his voice quiet but firm. Communications officer Olivia Garcia looked up from her screen. "All transport ships accounted for, Captain. The _Pathfinder_ just reported they have the last 50 colonists from Research Station Delta on board." Ryan nodded slowly. His eyes stayed fixed on the planet below. "Hard to believe we're leaving all this behind." The _nomad_ had been assigned to protect the evacuation ships. For months, human ships had been moving between Earth, New Eden, and the other colonies. They took people, equipment, plants, animals, everything that could be moved. "Sir," called Lieutenant Frank Martinez from the sensor station, "we're detecting several Confederation ships entering the system." Ryan wasn't surprised. Let them come. Let them see what they've done. He knew what the alien ships would find: empty buildings, abandoned farms, and silent cities. The humans had taken everything useful. What they couldn't take, they had carefully shut down. "All evacuation ships are ready for jump, Captain," Olivia reported. "Set course to the rendezvous point," Ryan ordered. "Let's join the fleet." The _nomad_ turned away from New Eden. Its engines glowed bright blue as it prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed. Behind it, 20 large transport ships followed, each carrying thousands of colonists and their belongings. As the ships jumped away, the Confederation observers arrived just in time to see the last traces of engine light fade into the darkness. The human exodus was the largest movement of a species in known history. The United Earth government had planned it in secret for years. They built new ships, stored food and supplies, and mapped unexplored regions of space. They were ready when the Council finally pushed too far. Across human space, the pattern was the same. Colonies emptied one by one. Military bases were dismantled. Research stations went dark. Even Earth, the human homeworld, was being systematically evacuated. 11 billion humans were on the move. In the depths of space, far from any Confederation outpost, hundreds of human ships gathered. The massive fleet stretched for miles. Warships formed a protective ring around the civilian vessels. On the command ship _Guardian_, Admiral Lisa Chen watched as the latest group of evacuation ships arrived from New Eden. "That's the last of the colony worlds, Admiral," her aide reported. "All that remains are the final groups from Earth." Lisa nodded. The operation was running exactly on schedule. "And our destination?" The scout ships confirmed that the Haven system is secure. 3 habitable planets, no intelligent life, plenty of resources. It's well beyond Confederation space, just as we hoped. The Admiral allowed herself a small smile. Haven was the result of a decade of secret exploration. Probes and scout ships had searched thousands of star systems before finding this perfect sanctuary for humanity. "How long before the Confederation realizes where we've gone?" Lisa asked. "The false trails are in place," her aide answered. "We've planted misleading information on abandoned computers. We've sent decoy ships in 6 different directions. It could be years before they find us, if they ever do." In the meeting room behind the bridge, representatives from Earth's nations and colonies gathered around a large table. Maps of the Haven system glowed on screens along the walls. "The first settlements are already being built," reported Governor Ben Clark from Earth's North American zone. "We have enough supplies to last 5 years. By then, the farms should be producing food." Prime Minister Sofia Rodriguez nodded. "Then we proceed as planned. Once the last ships arrive from Earth, we will begin our new life beyond the Confederation's reach." She looked around at the determined faces of humanity's leaders. They thought we couldn't survive without them. We will prove them wrong. At that moment, across the galaxy, the Confederation was just beginning to realize that humanity was truly gone. 6 months had passed since the last human ship disappeared from Confederation space. The powerful alien leaders had expected humans to return quickly, begging to be let back in. But no humans came. The silence was complete. Dr. Natalie Reed sat in a dark corner of a busy bar on Krell Station. She looked like a blue-skinned Centaurian trader, but this was just a disguise. She was really a human spy left behind to watch how the Confederation was handling humanity's departure. She sipped a fizzy purple drink and listened carefully to the aliens talking nearby. 2 medical workers were speaking in low voices. "The hospital on Proxima II is barely working now," said a 4-armed doctor with spotted skin. "Humans ran most of our special treatment centers. No one else knows how to use their machines properly." His friend, a lizard-like Sauran nurse, made a clicking sound with her tongue. "It's even worse in the outer systems. Remember those defense shields humans built during the Hive War? They're starting to fail. No one can fix them." Natalie kept her face still, showing no reaction. This was exactly the information she needed to send back to human leadership. The Confederation was struggling without human help, just as planned. That same day, in the Grand Meeting Hall of the Galactic Council, things were not going well for High Counselor Zexthal. Many representatives were shouting at him. "My people are losing money every day," yelled Counselor Vren, pounding his tentacle on the table. "Human markets bought 30% of our luxury goods. Now who will buy them?" "The humans will come back," Zexthal said, but his voice wasn't as confident as before. "Their small colonies cannot support themselves for long." "It has been 6 months," said another counselor. "Where did they even go? Our scout ships find nothing but empty buildings." Far away from this argument, on a Confederation border patrol ship, Officer Grex stared at his sensor screens in confusion. "Captain, I'm detecting something strange," he called out. "It looks like human ship trails leading toward Sector 87. The captain moved quickly to look at the screen. "Are you sure? That sector is mostly empty space. The energy signature is definitely human," Grex confirmed. The patrol ship changed course to follow the trail. For days they tracked the faint energy signs left by human ships. They moved farther and farther from Confederation space, excited by their discovery. Then suddenly, the trail split into 3 different directions. "Which way do we go?" asked Grex. The captain frowned. "We'll follow the strongest trail." 3 days later, they found themselves back where they started. The trail had led them in a complete circle. "They tricked us," the captain said angrily. "These false trails are everywhere." This scene played out dozens of times across the galaxy. Confederation ships would find what looked like human activity, follow it hopefully, and end up nowhere. The humans had carefully planned their disappearance. 1 year after humanity's departure, the Confederation called an emergency meeting. Representatives from all member worlds gathered to discuss the growing problem. "Medical systems are failing on 17 worlds," reported the health minister. "Human doctors treated diseases no one else understands. Trade has dropped by 23%, added the commerce director. Many businesses that sold to humans have closed. Pirate attacks have increased by 40% along routes that human ships used to protect," said the security chief. High Counselor Zexthal looked older than he had a year ago. The stress had turned his blue skin pale. "We must find them," he said. "Offer them better terms to return." A tall, thin alien stood up. "My world was most vocal against humans," he admitted. "We thought they were dangerous because they learned so quickly. Now I see we were wrong to fear them. We should have valued their help instead." Many counselors nodded in agreement. The mood in the Confederation was changing. The species that had once looked down on humans now missed them desperately. But despite their best efforts, the location of humanity remained a complete mystery. Somewhere far beyond known space, humans were building a new home. free from Confederation control. Admiral Gregory Harlow stood in front of the large window in his office. From here, he could see the new human city taking shape on Haven Prime. Tall buildings rose from the green landscape. Ships moved back and forth, bringing materials and people to the surface. A soft beep told him a call was coming in. He turned to see the hologram of Prime Minister Eleanor Wright appear in the center of the room. "Good morning, Admiral," she said. Her image flickered slightly because of the distance the signal had to travel. "Prime Minister," he nodded. "What can I do for you?" "I need an update on the Confederation hunt. Are we still safe here?" Gregory ran a hand through his gray hair. "For now, yes. Our scouts report that the Confederation has sent about 1/3 of their fleet to search for us. They're looking in all the wrong places. Our fake trails are working, then. Yes, we've planted false energy signatures in several sectors. Their ships are chasing ghosts while we build our new home here." Eleanor smiled, but her eyes showed worry. "And our new colonies? How are they progressing?" "Better than expected," Gregory replied. "The cities on all 3 worlds are growing quickly. The farms have started producing food. The defense systems are almost complete." Their conversation was interrupted when a young officer rushed into the room. "Admiral, we have an emergency." Gregory turned quickly. "What is it, Lieutenant?" "A Confederation deep scout vessel has entered Grid Echo 7. They're getting very close to the Andromeda Transit Corridor." The Admiral's face turned serious. If the aliens discovered the transit corridor, they might be able to trace it back to Haven. "Deploy countermeasures. Follow standard protocol. Disable their sensors, plant false data, and send them away. No injuries." "Yes, sir." The officer hurried out. "This is getting too close," Eleanor said from the hologram. "If they find us before we're fully established." "They won't," Gregory assured her. "We've prepared for this." Far away in deep space, Lieutenant Patricia Miller piloted her small stealth ship next to a much larger Confederation scout vessel. Her ship was designed to be invisible to most sensors. Carefully, she moved alongside the alien ship and attached small devices to its outer hull. These devices would feed false information to the ship's sensors. They would show traces of human activity leading in the wrong direction, toward the edge of the galaxy, far from humanity's true location. Devices attached, Patricia reported back to her command. "Activating now." Inside the Confederation ship, the alien crew suddenly got excited as their screens showed new readings. "Captain," called one of them, "we're detecting human energy signatures. They appear to be heading toward the galactic rim." The alien captain gave orders to follow this new trail. As the large ship changed course and accelerated away, Patricia watched from her hidden position. "Target is taking the bait," she reported. "They're moving away from the corridor." This game of hide and seek was happening across many parts of space. Small human stealth ships constantly worked to mislead and misdirect the Confederation hunters. Some planted false data. Others created fake energy signatures. A few even set up abandoned outposts that looked like humans had been there recently, but had moved on. Back on Haven Prime, Gregory studied a large map showing the positions of all known Confederation search vessels. Hundreds of red dots moved across the display, each representing an alien ship looking for humans. "They're getting more desperate," he told Eleanor. "They've doubled their search efforts in the past month." "That matches what our spies report," she nodded. "The Confederation's problems are growing worse without us. Several more worlds have officially requested our return." Gregory watched as one red dot moved dangerously close to a human shipping route, then veered away after encountering a decoy signal. "Sooner or later, they might get lucky," he admitted. "We need to accelerate our defense preparations, just in case." Eleanor agreed. "I'll authorize additional resources for the planetary shield systems." As their meeting ended, Gregory turned back to the window. The sun was setting over the new human city. Lights were turning on in homes and buildings. It looked peaceful. But he knew that somewhere out in the darkness of space, the hunt for humanity continued. The race was on. Could humans build their new civilization before the Confederation found them? 2 years had passed since humanity left the Confederation. What began as a problem had grown into a crisis. The Grand Council chamber, once a place of order and calm discussion, was now filled with angry shouts. Ambassador Krell from Teller Prime stood at the speaking platform, his scaled face dark with anger. "My world has suffered 3 pirate attacks in the past month alone," he shouted. "Our defense systems are failing without human engineers to maintain them." Other representatives nodded and called out in agreement. The problems were everywhere now. High Counselor Zex Thol tried to keep order, but his authority had weakened. His 4 eyes looked tired, and his blue skin had paled from stress. "We are doing everything possible to find replacement engineers," he said, but the crowd wasn't satisfied. "Your replacement teams understand nothing about human technology," shouted another ambassador. "They make things worse, not better." After the public meeting ended, the inner council gathered in a smaller private room. Here, the most powerful leaders of the Confederation spoke more honestly. "We must face the truth," said Elder Klaus, the oldest member of the council. His thin body was supported by a floating chair. "We made a serious mistake with the humans." Security Director Vex nodded. "We didn't realize how deeply human technology had become part of our systems. Their machines are in our hospitals, their computers run our defense grids, their ships protected our trade routes. And we still have no idea where they went," added another counselor. "Our search fleet has found nothing but false trails." Zexthal looked around at the worried faces. "The reports from member worlds grow worse each day. 17 worlds now face serious medical crises. Trade is down by 40%. Defense failures have been reported in 6 sectors. The humans advanced faster than we expected," said Elder Klaus. "Our models suggested they shared all their technology with us. Now we know they kept their best advances secret." The room fell silent as everyone considered the situation. Finally, Zexthal spoke the words no one had wanted to say. "We need the humans to come back," he admitted. "The Confederation's stability depends on it." The next day, in the main council chamber, Zexthal made an announcement that shocked many members. The Galactic Confederation would formally request humanity's return. They would offer humans full member status with seats on the inner council, something no species had been offered so quickly before. "We recognize now that humans brought valuable skills and perspectives to our Confederation," Zexthal said, his voice carrying across the silent room. "Their departure has created gaps that we have been unable to fill." The message was recorded and broadcast on all frequencies toward every part of the galaxy. Special long-range ships carried it beyond Confederation borders. It was the most extensive communication effort in Confederation history. Then they waited for an answer. Days passed, then weeks. No response came from humanity. On the border world of Nexus IV, Hospital Director Dr. Mielta stood in a room full of sick patients. Without human medical technology, many would die. Each day more people came seeking help. Each day she had less to offer them. "Any word from the council?" asked her assistant. Dr. Mielta shook her head sadly. "Nothing. The humans haven't responded to the offer." Similar scenes played out across Confederation space. On the mining world of Drastus, workers sat idle as automated systems, once maintained by human engineers, broke down. On the agricultural planet Verdant, crops died as the weather control systems failed. On the trade hub Centauri Station, shops closed as business dried up. In his private chambers, Zexthal stared at the latest reports. Economic collapse threatened at least 30 worlds. Medical systems were failing on dozens more. The proud Confederation, which had stood for 12,000 years, was beginning to crumble. "Where are they?" he whispered to himself. "Why don't they answer?" But the silence from humanity continued. No messages, no ships, no sign they had even heard the Confederation's plea. Outside the known borders of space, humanity was building its new civilization. unaware that their former oppressors now desperately needed their help. Dr. Henry Russell lowered his binoculars and stared in wonder at the strange ship sitting in the main square of Haven City. The ship looked nothing like any human vessel. It wasn't like any Confederation design either. Its smooth, curved shape glowed with soft colors that shifted and changed like a living thing. "I've never seen anything like it," Henry said to Security Chief Diane Foster, who stood beside him at their observation post. "Who do you think they are?" Diane kept her own binoculars fixed on the ship. "Not Confederation, that's for sure. The design is completely different." 3 years had passed since humanity had left Confederation space. In that time, they had built 3 large cities on their new home world. Farms spread across the fertile valleys. Factories produced goods. Children played in new parks. Life was good here in the Haven system, far from the Confederation's rules and limits. Now, for the first time, an alien ship had found them. How did they get past our sensor network? Henry wondered. We should have detected them long before they reached the planet. That's what worries me, Diane replied. Her job was to keep the colony safe. They watched as the ship's lower section opened like a flower. A soft light shone from inside. 3 tall figures stepped out onto the ground. The aliens were unlike any species humans had met before. They stood about 7 feet tall with slender bodies. Their skin shimmered with rainbow colors that moved and changed as they looked around. Their eyes were large and had many facets, like a jewel or an insect's eye. Unknown species, Henry confirmed. I'd studied every sentient race in the Confederation database. These are completely new. The human greeting party approached the visitors carefully. Prime Minister Eleanor Wright led the group, with Admiral Gregory Harlow at her side. Several guards formed a protective circle around them, weapons ready but not pointed at the aliens. Eleanor stepped forward and spoke clearly. "Welcome to Haven. I am Prime Minister Eleanor Wright, representing humanity." The central alien raised his 6-fingered hand. A small device on its wrist glowed, and a voice came from it in perfect English. "We are the Luminary. I am Ambassador Selith. We bring greetings from the far reaches." After this first meeting, the aliens were invited to a special building prepared for important visitors. There, through their translation devices, they explained their purpose. "We have watched your species for some time," Ambassador Selith told Eleanor and Gregory during formal talks. "Your exodus from the Confederation was interesting to us. Interesting enough to cross a great distance of space," Eleanor asked, raising an eyebrow. The alien made a gesture that seemed like a nod. "We have avoided the Confederation for thousands of years. They do not know we exist." "Why avoid them?" Gregory asked. "The Confederation prevents growth," Selith explained. "They stop new ideas. They fear change. We watched them grow stale and rigid over millennia." The ambassador's skin changed to a deep blue color. "Then came humans. You learned quickly. You changed things. You questioned old ways. When you left, we hoped." "Hoped for what?" Eleanor leaned forward, curious. "For change. The Confederation has prevented real progress for too long. There are many species and civilizations beyond their borders who share this view." This news stunned the human leaders. They had believed they were alone, hidden at the edge of known space. Now they learned there were many advanced civilizations watching from the shadows. "We are not the only ones who have chosen to stay free of Confederation control," Selith continued. "The Free Worlds Alliance includes 6 advanced civilizations. We live in peace, we trade, we grow, without Confederation limitations." "And you want what from us?" Gregory asked directly. "Partnership." The alien's colors shifted to a warm gold. "You have technologies we find interesting. We have knowledge that could help you. Together, we could create something new, a different kind of alliance based on freedom and respect, not control and fear." As the meeting continued into the night, more details emerged. The Luminary had technologies humans had never imagined. They could hide entire planets from sensors. They could travel faster than any Confederation ship. They had medicine that could extend life by centuries. Later that night, Eleanor stood with Gregory on a balcony overlooking the glowing luminary ship. "Do you think we can trust them?" she asked. Gregory watched the alien vessel thoughtfully. "They found us when the Confederation couldn't. They could have attacked but chose to talk instead. I think this might be the ally we've been hoping for." Below them, in the city square, humans gathered to look at the alien ship. Some were 5 years to the day after humanity walked out of the Confederation. A massive fleet appeared at the edge of Confederation space. Thousands of ships stretched across the darkness in perfect formation. Human vessels made up the center, their sleek designs now more advanced than anything the Confederation had seen before. On either side flew ships of strange and wonderful designs, vessels of the luminary, the crystalline Takari, and other species unknown to the Confederation. On the bridge of the US_Defiant_, Fleet Admiral Gregory Harlow stood tall and proud. Around him, officers from 6 different species worked together at their stations. The smooth cooperation between these different beings would have shocked any Confederation observer. "The Alliance fleet is in position, Admiral," reported Captain Kelly Davidson. Her uniform bore the new symbol of the Galactic Alliance of Free Worlds, a circle of stars around a bright center. "All ships report ready status." Gregory nodded. His face was serious as he looked at the view screen showing Confederation space ahead of them. "It's time. Transmit the message on all Confederation frequencies." Throughout Confederation space, on every planet, moon base, and space station, communication systems suddenly activated. Screens lit up. Speakers came to life. The same message played everywhere at once. "Attention Galactic Confederation. This is Fleet Admiral Gregory Harlow of the Terran Alliance. 5 years ago, humanity departed your space after enduring decades of discrimination and restriction. Today, we return, not as beggars, but as the founding members of the Galactic Alliance of Free Worlds, along with 6 other civilizations unknown to you." In the Confederation Council chamber, panic erupted as the message played. Representatives jumped from their seats, shouting questions and demands. High Counselor Zex Hull stared in shock at the image of the human admiral on the main screen. Gregory's message continued, his voice calm and confident. "The Free Worlds Alliance stands for cooperation without control, progress without limitation, and defense without domination. Our member worlds share technology freely. Our ships protect all Alliance space equally. Our citizens move and trade without restriction." On dozens of Confederation worlds, ordinary people gathered around screens to watch. Many remembered the human doctors, engineers, and teachers who had lived among them before disappearing 5 years ago. "We do not seek conflict," Gregory said. "We offer friendship and cooperation, but as equals, not as servants. Confederation member worlds are welcome to send representatives to Haven Prime for diplomatic talks, regardless of what your government decides." As the message ended, the Alliance fleet remained in position, a silent show of strength. Back in the council chamber, chaos reigned. "We must respond with military force," shouted one military commander, pounding his fist on the table. "Are you insane?" responded Ambassador Krell. "Did you see the size of their fleet? And those alien designs, who are they? Where did they come from? More importantly," said Elder Kloss in his quiet voice, "many of our worlds are already on the edge of collapse without human assistance. We cannot afford a conflict." Even as they argued, reports began coming in from across Confederation space. 3 minor member species had already announced their intention to send representatives to this Haven Prime, regardless of the Council's position. Economic systems, already struggling, showed signs of further instability as markets reacted to the news. On the trade hub world of Centauri Station, crowds gathered in the streets, discussing the human return. Many supported opening relations with the Alliance. "My daughter would have died last year, if not for that human doctor who treated her before they left," said one shopkeeper to the crowd around him. "I trust humans more than I trust the Council now." On the bridge of the _Defiant_, Gregory received the first responses from Confederation worlds. 7 worlds have already requested diplomatic channels, Admiral, reported Captain Davidson, and 3 more are preparing statements of interest. Gregory nodded. It's happening faster than we expected. Beside him stood Ambassador Seleth of the Luminary, his skin shimmering with colors of satisfaction. The Confederation has grown rigid in its age. Many worlds have suffered under their restrictions. You have given them a choice they never had before. As the day continued, more and more Confederation worlds made contact. Some officially, others through private channels. All were curious about this alliance that offered a different way. In his private chamber, High Counselor Zex Full stared at the tactical display showing the massive alliance fleet. Years of stress had aged him greatly. We should have listened, he whispered to the empty room. We should have treated them as partners, not as children. The humans had walked out. They had not only survived but thrived. And in doing so, they had forever changed the balance of power in the galaxy. The entire galaxy had indeed held its breath. And now everyone was breathing a new kind of air.